It was very bold for Kanja to publicly apologize on his own behalf and on behalf of the National Police Service for giving false information that Albert Omondi Ojwang hit himself on the cell walls until he died. Very few people have done that, and very few people will ever do that. If you want to know any government official, not just a police officer, who has come out boldly and accepted his wrongdoing, it's very hard. Also remember that it is not Kanja who did anything wrong. It is the message that came from the ground and so on. So the easiest apology anybody can give is to say that I gave out an answer that I was given. But Kanja was very bold, and he said that on my own behalf and on behalf of the National Police Service, I tender my apology. When Kanja gives a press briefing, his body language is very encouraging. He looks sincere in his body language, and it is very encouraging. If you compare him to Japheth Koome, oh my God, Japheth Koome talks, can remind somebody of speeches by Hitler. Remember the two instances among many. The speech he gave after swearing in, and in the statement that he talked that bunduki sio miwa or something like that. Koome immediately after he was sworn in by the Lady Chief Justice, he said, first of all, I have something to say little. I know you are very busy. And the way he talked, he was preparing Kenyans for a police state. People have died in police custody since time immemorial. But cases of them dying unnecessary under police hands have hit the roof. Even when I was a recruit, we were taught something that supposing somebody dies in police custody, what steps do you take? Those are things which are there. Those were whatever. For example, there are very many examples. Someone may die in police custody because of the coldness of the police cells. Somebody may die in police custody because of asthma, such and such a thing. Or people in the police cells or police custody may fight among themselves and somebody may die. Those things have been there, those things are there, and those things are going on. But if we take the per capita of police officers murdering people in police custody, it's very high today. There is an OCS, I think his name is Mutua. Mutua left his home. Mutua went to the police cells, beat up a prisoner, and Mutua is now in committee. Another case is the case of, is it Ruaraka area, where a young man, I don't know what he had smoked, I don't know what he had drunk, took his daughter, a baby daughter, and was threatening to throw the baby over the 4th or 5th floor. He was restrained, he was taken to the nearest police station. As his wife was leaving to go back home, As his wife was leaving to go back home, she heard a commotion. And she asked a police officer, what is the commotion about? She didn't know that it was her husband who was being beaten up. She was told it is just somebody who is being disciplined. So per capita of such incidences are on the rise. And Kanja is the right person to correct it. I want to say that the status of a person in police custody is a suspect. Somebody in police custody is a suspect. But a person in prison custody is either a remandee or a convict. But today, the prison is a corrective service. Prison is a corrective service. They even say kurekebisha na haki. But today, if your relative is arrested by the police, you start thinking about the mortuary. Talking to cops from junior to county commanders level, I have noticed a hatred towards citizens. I don't know why. I am a son of a senior police officer. I am also a former student of senior training wing in both CID training school and Kiganjo. But in today's status, I can say that the attitude of the police nowadays is that raia ni adui. Raia ni adui. It is like the police are given a job that they don't want. It is like the police are given a job and they blame the citizens for placing them in an unfairable job. On any given time, I would say out of 1,000 times, 999, I would prefer to be a police officer than a prison officer. And a prison officer is in constant meeting with hardened crooks, hardened convicts. Do you know of anybody who has been jailed for 15 years, who has been in jail for free? We have people who stay in prison as long as 30 years. If you go to prison, you'll find somebody who has been in prison for over 30 years. Can you tell me of any police officer who has handled a suspect for more than 30 days? So, it would be understandable if a prison warder felt bad about a criminal who has stayed there for 30 years, a convict who has stayed there for 30 years. But the police, it's like they're feeling, nyinyi ndio mnafanya tunateseka. That hatred, I don't know. But in the last 1,000 days, it has gone up. To me, it must have been a pent-up hatred which nobody allowed it to come out. But in the last 1,000 days, it has now found a way out. They believed that, just like somebody said, it is now safe to get out. For example, you are hiding out there. You're hiding out there. Maybe the mob is chasing you or something. Then you hide in a relative's place. There comes a time when a relative tells you that I've checked outside there, and outside it is now safe. You can leave and go away. So this hatred has been in them, and it is only in the 1,000 days ago that they now feel it is good to take out their frustration. I don't know. One thing I know is that the National Police Service, people are recruited into the National Police Service. they are not conscripted into the National Police Service. If you are conscripted, the difference between conscript and recruit is one. You recruit, you go and there are two things. There are two differences between a conscript and a recruit. Conscript is a must, it's compulsory. And conscript have a period. For example, in many countries, you either serve your country for 2 years or you serve your country for 5 years. That is a conscript. You are given for up to 5 years to work for your government, whether you like it or not. You can only not work if your physical condition doesn't allow, or in case of women, if you are pregnant. So that is a conscript, and you have to work for 5. But recruit, you go there, you apply, and if you are successful, you work there for as long as you want. Because in the police service, even if you want to resign, you can resign within 24 hours. So there is no conscripting, but the way they behave is like they are being conscripted. It is Kanja's greatest target to do something. Just look at the way citizens are confronting police. We have heard the president, commander-in-chief, talking as if police are there and the citizen. If I'm not wrong, Ruto wants Kenya to be treated like an approved school. Just look at the way citizens are confronting the police. In Narok, one police officer had his hand amputated. In Nakuru, a man boldly confronts the police with a panga. The place is called London. London is between Nakuru and Kabarak. How many police stations or police posts have been burnt to the ground in the last 1,000 days? It is now normal. It is now normal for people just to invade the police station and burn it down. I know of very many police stations where people feel the area is unsafe and they contribute money, buy a plot, and tell the police to construct a police post there. A very good example, if my understanding is not wrong, somewhere along near PC Kinyanjui Primary School, the police were given a plot there. But people felt that it was on the sidings, so they wanted a more central place. And then they contributed money. They made an arrangement for a police post to be placed where the Riruta police station is. It is less than a month that the person whose plot the police post was constructed, it is less than a year. It is less than a year that that person surrendered the title deed to the police. If it is more than a year, then it is not more than 2 years. For over 30 years, Riruta police station has been on somebody's plot. Now we have moved away from a place where people who stay in one area like Riruta, they come up and contribute a plot for the construction of a police post. Today we are now having a situation where people are surrounding police stations and burning them up. We have moved from feeling safe with a police officer around to a situation where a police officer being around is chased away. It may not happen during Kanja's time, but he can make a major change. With the alternative dispute resolution, police should encourage people to go for ADR. Whenever you have a case, police should call the complainant and the suspect and try to have them unite. The police should even encourage some things to be handled at the chief's place. But what do police officers today do? You only need to differ with somebody. Then you go to the police station, especially if you go to the DCI. It is now for them to find an excuse. Even when they know that it is a weak case, then they go for your person. That is the position today. I was told, how many of you were born in November 1982? I was told in 1982 or 83, because I became a recruit in November 1982. November 27, that is December. In 1983, as a recruit, I was told that just like a vehicle that has left a showroom, just like a vehicle that has just left the showroom, any Kenyan at any time, he has done something wrong. If we were to follow the law to the letter, if we were to follow the law to the letter, everybody who has done anything wrong should be taken to jail. Then everybody, including prison warders, would be in jail. So what happens is that there are 3 occasions when you should report to the police. The first instance is that you report in the first instance, yeah. The first instance of the first instance. First of all, anything happening, you report. The police tries to talk to both of you. But if it continues being a repeat, then the police can take action against that person. If the thing is minor, and the police should look for a way to talk to both of you or all of you. That is option number 1. Option number 2, if the thing that is happening is of a repeat, the police should take action. Or 3, if the thing is serious, then the police. But nowadays, instead of what we were taught in 1983, where you try to reconcile the people, today you just have to convince. I don't know the percentage. I don't know whether it is all free or whatever. But somehow you just tell a police officer, so and so has wronged me. Then the police officer behaves like a lawyer. You see, if you talk to a lawyer very well, the lawyer will have to look at the law book and see where he can defend you on one hand, and where he can talk, section lazima ipatikane ya kushika yule mtu. A section has to be found to defend you, and another section will found to against the person you are after. And you know what? If a lawyer refused all the cases, if all cases which came to the lawyer and he said, whatever, the lawyer would die of starvation. He will not pay his bills. But a police officer, there is nowhere where they say that you will be paid your. Okay, we have this performance contract, but in the performance contract of police does not mean that you will get a good review with the number of people you arrest. No, it doesn't say that. But you go, just make any complaint. You go and you tell a police officer, so and so ananisumbua. Then he scratches his head and looks for whatever offense he can get that person. Remember, in 1983, before May 83, I was taught in Kiganjo Junior Training Week, I was taught that every Kenyan at every time has committed an offense. So when you say, I've differed with so and so, it becomes now the duty of the police officer now to find whichever section you can be charged. As I've talked about Njeri in the last few tapes, Njeri was arrested on Thursday because they knew that Friday was a public holiday, and by Monday she would be released. And the intention was, you see, the police cell is one prison where you can be taken there without being convicted. Without being convicted. In a prison, whether a remandee or a convict, a judge or a magistrate has to say that you are remanded for 2 weeks. Or the same judicial officer can say you have been jailed for 3 months. But police cell, even when you are getting out, another person can say, alinikondolea macho. You go in back. Or that is the only legal place where you can be jailed without being convicted. So that is what is happening. In my view, I say that Kanja Kiroche is the second best Inspector General after the rank was reintroduced. Remember, the last police boss, colonial police boss, Sir Richard Catlin, when he was appointed as an Inspector General. But somehow in between, his rank was changed and it became Commissioner of Police, and it has been going on that way. Today, I can say without any fear of contradiction that Kanja Kirochi is the second best Inspector General. He's the second best because if the police under him were to behave well, like the way they were behaving well during the other police officers' time, then he would have even been the best. But they say like tea leaves, the best tea leaves are known with the more the hotter the water, the better the tea leaves makes tea. The best Inspector General after it was reintroduced was Boynet. A small fellow, but if you see the way he ran the police service was very good. The worst is Koome. Japheth Koome. There was a time when Koome was the provincial police officer in Nairobi. And the way he used to handle, those days I was not on YouTube, but those people who are my followers on my Facebook will remember that when he was the provincial police officer in Nairobi, I'd even asked, is he campaigning to be the commandant of the GSU? And if you look at the tenure of Koome and you look at the tenure of Kanja Kiroche, you may think that Koome is a former GSU officer, and Kiroche, the way he talks and the way he behaves, is like he is a former NIS. If you look at the former NIS bosses, apart from Mutiambai, all of them are very good. Mutiambai, I don't know where he came from. Look at the first director of intelligence who became the police. Okay, he was the director of intelligence, but let me put it this way. Look at the first person from the NIS who became the overall police boss, Bernard Hinga. Look at Boynet. NIS produces best inspector generals. But Mutiambai, we will disown him. We will need we will need a DNA to confirm if he is our brother. So we hope and I pray that there is also problem with the head of state. He wants police to use heavy-handedness. But I just wish that those who are concerned, starting with the head of state, the political arm of the country, and even the citizen, we give Kanja a time to, to mold and modernize the police service. It has reached a place where we are saying that, and me being one of them, that on paper, we have changed it from Kenya Police Force to Kenya Police Service. And if we look at the way people are behaving, then maybe we don't understand English, or we pray to God that the Kenya Police Service revert back to the name Kenya Police Force, because it was better when it was the police force than when it is a police service. God bless you and God bless Kanja. Amen.